Thank you so much for being here. I could not be doing this without you, and I am enjoying this so much. And if you're here, I hope you do too. The last few weeks have been so incredibly impactful for me. I have had so many realizations, especially recently. There's a lot of self-help and spiritual practices out there that say spend 30 days trying something or doing something and, breaking a habit, building a habit, diet, exercise, whatever it is. And so for some reason it came to me that I really wanted to focus for 30 days on how I feel and being happy. And I added some suggested behaviors with it. And I'm realizing that the first 30 days isn't about having really big breakthroughs and shifts. It's about getting your footing. And it's just about getting your feet on the ground and sort of getting traction with what you are attempting to do. It's at 30 days and beyond that the shifts and the benefits begin coming. And that's really easy to understand with working out, which I guess is probably the one place I've really applied this before, where the first 30 days are really hard when I think about it. And then once you get into month 2, month 3, month 4, like, oh my gosh, then you start to feel great and you start to see yourself losing weight and getting muscle. And, I used to be 100 pounds heavier. So definitely I've experienced the freedom and success there, but I hadn't applied it to mood or spirituality or really feeling good. And I'm very blessed that I've had this opportunity to really clear everything out, because I think one of the big sort of difficulties we have right now with getting happy, if you will, is we're always putting it outside of ourselves. And I didn't realize that either. Even though I know it, life experience teaches, words don't teach. So even though we kind of know things, until we really focus, I realize, and the rubber meets the road, we don't get it. And so we're always saying, well, I need a different job, or I need a different boss, or I need a different relationship, or my kids are sick, or I'm too busy, or I'm too tired, or people need to behave differently. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. Look at how that group is living, or I can't believe what these people believe, or the weather, or the government, or we always have something that sort of we're blaming for not feeling good today. And it can be a million different things. And of course, we believe those things wholeheartedly. So it wasn't until I was able to take this time and clear everything out that I could blame and see that I have nothing to worry about or to sort of blame or get my happiness from, or I need out of the way to get happy, because everything in my life other than, some of the things that were going on is amazing, that I saw that it wasn't those things, it was me. And really those things were just filling a slot that for me, and what was going on, and I didn't know, but now I very clearly do, that I was sort of having this constant mood. So, we know we're made of vibration and particles and atoms, so it makes sense that we have sort of a vibrational mood that's rather consistent. It was worry. And so no matter what was going on, I always thought I had to think about things and swirl them around in my head to address them, that somehow if I had to have a difficult conversation with an employee or, coworker or something, if I thought about it enough, I'd be better prepared. Even making videos or anything in life, I was always running it through my head and running these scenarios over and over again. And it felt like that was helping me achieve something. But what I began to realize during this process was really that's just that I'm vibrationally at worry, and something is just law of attraction, or whatever you want to call it, is continuing to keep me, like I'm just continuing to live that way. I'm just always going to have something to think about. I'm always going to have something to ruminate over. Oh, I've got to put together a resume, or, I'm going on a trip, or a million different things. What am I going to pack? And anything, it can be anything. And that was the first hint to me that I'm constantly placing happiness outside of me, and it's somewhere else. And the problem with that is that we can't control those things. We can't control the government. We can't control how everyone lives, and it's not our business, frankly. But I can't control my kids or my family or everything at my job or anything else outside of me. So as long as I'm putting the responsibility for my happiness outside of me, then I am clucked, for lack of a better way of saying it, right? I'm screwed, because I can't control those things. And so as long as my happiness is out there and I need those people to change to be happy, I'm never going to get there. And it's come to me that the word happiness really isn't what I'm talking about here. it works, but it's not quite what I'm going for. What it really is mental freedom. This is about freedom. And it's interesting because here we are in the West and we supposedly have freedom. And we do in many ways, having been to China quite a bit and being in factories. And I can assure you, when I would come back here, I would be blown away with our blessings and our privilege. It's astounding when you go to a third world country and you come back and you realize the lack of freedom. So we have it, but what happens? We are still trapping ourselves. My family can be a trap. My job can be a trap. My finances can be a trap. Where it's like we can create a million different gilded cages. Even if you have a lot of money, that can be a trap. A lot of bills. There's so many things that it's like we're just creating this sense of entrapment, for lack of a better way to say it. And it's coming from in here. We think it's out there, we think it's our stuff, but because its form changes all the time, once we address one issue, now it's that thing that's got me. And I am so, if I feel trapped, I become dysfunctional in all kinds of ways. It's the first thing that will absolutely steal my happiness. Freedom is huge for me. And I realize that that's really what this is about. This is about achieving mental freedom right here. When I can control how I react to things, how I respond to things, that's what we're looking for, is to know that no matter what happens outside of me, if I can keep my head in the right place and not let it drive me into fear or guilt or worry or resentment, then I can do life totally differently, because freedom is an inside job. It's how we react and respond to things. It's not those things. It's us. And when we begin to realize, or for me during this process, and these are things I know, but again, applying them, words don't teach, life experience teaches, in this way has brought the knowledge into me in a whole new way of knowing that this is where it's at. This is the game. And when I address it here, everything outside of me is going to change. I already know that. I can feel it. But it doesn't matter if it changes or not, because I get to walk around free because I'm free up here, because I can still see things and be positive and not get drug into the negativity and the mess. I can mind my business. I can realize I don't have control over things. It's not my job to have control over things. And there's a lot to this, and I've learned a lot of the different pieces, and you can get as simple with it as, I want to control how I react to the world, and you can get as big with it as our thoughts create reality. And, we're vibration. And that's not that weird of a conversation, because we know we're vibration. And when we have strong emotions, we can feel ourselves vibrating. But no one ever mentioned to me, I guess they weren't supposed to, along the way, that my emotions were part of my spirituality. I didn't realize that they were a huge piece of how I engage with the world. Even though scientifically I'm aware everything's vibration, I'm aware that my senses are translating vibration. And I always called myself a powerful empath, because I had always had this interesting ability that when I'm around people, I can sense what they're feeling to the point where I almost can read their thoughts. And so some people, especially in workplaces, have thought that I'm so tapped in and plugged into, the team and the workforce, being in management and leadership, that, I know everything that's going on. And they thought I was talking to everyone, but they didn't realize that it wasn't. I just know things. And it's in your energy. What you're feeling comes off. Now it's become totally logical to me. Oh, well, I can feel what they're feeling, because vibrations don't stop. They go out, you're watching this, there's sound waves, there's audio waves, and your senses are interpreting that into seeing me sitting here thinking I'm a physical, solid thing. But really, we know scientifically that I'm mostly space, and the best metaphor I heard for it was like a propeller on an airplane. If it moves fast enough and you try to put your hand through it, it's always going to seem solid. But it's not. It's literally just a propeller, but it's moving so fast. So that's how we are. We seem solid because we're moving so fast, the things that make us up. And so in that sense, it makes very logical sense that what I'm feeling comes off of me in other forms of waves, and other people can pick that up. And I think that's why I love to listen to things that I consider to be sort of a high vibration or a very good mood, is I guess layman's terms, but people who are in a very good mood. I listen to a lot of that, not even necessarily for the words they're saying, I realize, but it's the energy, and it helps to pull me up, because even if we're listening to a video, you're getting my vibrational mix from watching this. And it's so important to me that I'm offering something that's helpful. And I guess everything is helpful in its own way as we learn this, but I didn't expect too that this would be so important, that how we feel would be so important. I don't think we have it that way. We have it, important that I pay my bills and that I get up in the morning and function and that I, raise my kids right and I, work out. We have all these other things. We don't have how we feel. And I didn't realize until I really stopped and started to do this, the incredible impact of how we feel on everything that we do. So until I stop and get myself in the right emotional place, which is what I'm doing now, and then go do life, I get very different results than when I'm just getting up and starting to check the boxes and not caring. I was so good about not caring about how I felt and just pushing through. And I thought that made me tough. I thought that made me strong. I thought that made me successful. And I realized that I was definitely doing things the hard way, definitely swimming upstream. And so now I'm shifting. Now I'm getting there's a different conversation. And now I'm starting to see why I needed to do that, because now I think I really have something to offer, and I can have a different conversation. Because again, it's not even about the words. I've listened to this stuff 10,000 times, but it's that life experience teaches, words don't teach. And now I'm having the life experience. I'm like, oh, now I feel so different. Now when I read material, and I'll do our reading next, but now I get what this material is saying. Even if I was in a worse mood, I wouldn't even be able to really get what this material is saying to me. So everything is shifting now, and I'm so grateful. I can't even believe how the material is coming to me. Funny things are starting to happen, but the material and the way that it's coming to me is happening differently. And anyway, it's just a very exciting time. So if you're here, I'm so grateful for you again. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I've completed phase 1. It was a little messy. Please don't go back and watch some of those videos. No, I'm just kidding. One reason I wanted to start. So expression for me is part of happiness. I've learned that. And expression can look different for everyone. And it can be creative expression, it can be verbal expression, it can be physical expression, whatever it is, but we all need to express. And the more I learn about being a vibrational being, I get that. Like there's a part of expression that moves the vibration, moves my energy. And for some reason, when I speak this way and verbally express this way, I feel a lot better. And I needed to be able to do it safely and openly and just be messy with it. I don't know if I don't know, something about when I speak, I hear myself differently, and I don't need someone to hear me and validate me or give back. I just need to be able to share. Something about it makes me really happy. And so I started this on to just have an outlet to share. And I also wanted to capture the rockiness of the beginning. So for anyone who might be beginning, you don't have to look cool. And I for so long held back because I thought I needed to be in a certain place before I started to share. And I'm realizing that you just got to start. And I think I already had a really solid foundation when I started, but I'm so grateful that I started when I did, and then the way I did, because it's like, it's okay to be messy. It's okay to have these struggles. This is human. It's that we do it and that we keep going with it. And keep sticking with it even when we're like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because now it's becoming so purposeful. Now I'm realizing that there's nothing more important than this, than your happiness, than how you feel, than what you want, and getting focused on that and prioritizing that, and everything else will fall into place. Your kids, your relationship, your work, everything. And I'm going to start to show that. I want to be the example of it. And that's a reason too. I want to be real with this. You'll be able to see the shift in me, and feel it. Excuse me. I'm not here to put on a show. That's what I'm seeing, but I want you to feel it. I want you to know that what I'm sharing here is really happening for me. And if it can really happen for me, it can happen for anyone. And this is the journey. This is the road that we're on. What else is more important? So with that, I'm going to wrap my yada yada today as I move into phase 2, day 1 of phase 2, and I'm going to move into this little reading that I have laid out. Well, thank you so much. You can listen to the reading in the next video or not. Have a great day.